said accounts of Freshwater's class conduct were exaggerated, and he was exercising his academic freedom to explore controversial ideas.
Explore controversial ideas, but did he show both sides of the coin? I mean,
No.
both opinions, both sides of the fence?
She said the board's decision to dismiss Freshwater showed hostility toward religion.
Their religion, their cult.
The board's position basically boils down to the proposition that simply offering students evidence of the gaps or flaws in evolutionary theory is equal to religious indoctrination, she said. Freshwater was dismissed after investigators reported he preached Christian beliefs in class when discussing topics such as evolution, homosexuality, and was insubordinate in failing to remove the Bible from his classroom.
Interesting.
Two lower courts previously upheld Freshwater's dismissal.
Well, what I have to say is, and I'm going to say it very slowly so all people can understand, including right-wing nincompoops.
Uh-oh.
There should never be a combination of church and state, and not one penny, I repeat, not one penny of American taxpayers' money should be spent on religion at all, because no one has yet been able to prove that their God exists.
Well, unfortunately, sir, since Mr. George W. Bush, faith-based agencies and etc. do get government money, our tax money.
Because they are...
And Obama has continued.
They are trying to force their beliefs, their cult, on
Other people.
It's like the Inquisition.
Yes.
You know,
Except they don't convert by the sword, as the Inquisition did.
Their version of what's in the Bible is not in the Bible. Now I hear this other jerk off, Glenn Beck. I heard he has a tendency to occasionally quote the Bible.
Yes, he does.
Does he know the God of the Bible?
No, he doesn't.
Then why does he quote it?
Because he thinks he does. And he thinks his tradition does.
Does he quote?
I believe he's a Catholic.
He's a Catholic, like Antonin Scalia.
And Mr. Clarence Thomas.
Old jowly face,
And
double
Mr.
chin
Kennedy.
Scalia with the jowl, big fat round Rush Limbaugh face with double chins.
Maybe he eats too much pasta.
Too much of pasta, too much of high carbohydrates. Well, the point is that they haven't. Does he quote accurate scripture, Glenn Beck?
No, of
So
course
he's just
not.
spouting off a bunch of nonsense.
But people believe it. They have made tradition of it, tenets of it.
And he's in the media too. He gets paid. He gets paid probably very handsomely, and he has no facts.
Well, they didn't have facts back when Mark 7 verses 7 through 9 were written either. That you have made Jesus of no effect because of your traditions that you hold.
I bet all these right-wing lunatics on cable TV make a hell of a lot more money than we make.
Well, of course. Jeez. I was just complaining about that to someone this morning.
And get a lot more views.
Telling about the newsletter's been in existence for how many years? Since 1977.
Yeah.
You know, why ain't we rich?
Yeah. Why? Yeah, right. If newsletters censor, here's a perfect example of how people embrace the truth. And the truth is often a very bitter pill to swallow. Newsletter Censored has been around since 1977. It's been dealing with
taboos.
hard-hitting news and truth and news, and fighting conservative propaganda since 1977, and giving you the real hard-hitting truth. But how come we have not become financially independent off of Newsletter Censored? Not by a long shot. Meanwhile, all these right-wing nuts, these kooks, are wealthy off of their crazy newsletters.
Rush Limbaugh.
They have no facts to back them up. They can't prove anything. They just have a bigger blowhorn. They just, drown people like us out. That's why we don't have any right-wingers here as a guest, because they'll keep on interrupting us and they'll try to shout us down. The last time I had a guest on location, that time, he kept on trying to undermine everything I said, trying to sabotage everything I said on the show, and that's the last time I had a right-winger as a guest.
Well, that's their style.
Mr.
Ad hominem attacks and talk over the other person, because you don't want the people to hear what the other person is saying.
Yeah, because I made everything I said. He had to put me down. What he didn't have any facts to back his views up. He just put me down. And if I said
the personal attack should not be there.
Like I said that myself and Dr. Bill and other people that I am friends with, like Can Create. I mean, we collectively, William H. Morrow III, we collectively chose not to have children. He says, "Oh, we're selfish because we don't want to dedicate our lives to raising other human beings, raising children, and making sacrifices." Oh, you're being selfish. I said, no, we're not. It's a lifestyle choice. It's a lifestyle choice because certain lifestyles prohibit a person from doing something else that they feel is very important to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people with some men have wives that won't let them pursue their careers.
Jesus wasn't married. He didn't have any children.
If he had a family, if he had a wife and kids, would he be able to walk around doing what he had to do and teaching and,
No.
Maybe if he had a wife, she would complain that he's not spending enough quality time with her and the kids.
Jesus, you get in here at dinner time.
Oh,
and stop walking around to Copernica and everywhere.
You're out there preaching again?
Yeah.
I slave over a
Bring some of those fishes and loaves home.
You gave what? You gave all that food to the poor? Yeah. You got a family here. You got kids. Hey, I've been slaving over a hot stove cooking you dinner, and you're out there preaching?
Oh, my God.
Little satire, but it's true, I mean, but oh no, the right-winger says, hey, you got to be a man, you got to have children, you got to raise them, put your kids through college, work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 5 jobs, 6 jobs, 7 o'clock rock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
I don't see CEOs having to work 2, 3, 4 jobs.
And their kids never do it either. I'm sure Republican senators and congressmen and even Governor Christie, I'm sure their kids are not going to ever have a minimum wage job when they turn 16 or 17. I'm sure they will all live high on the hog. No pun intended, Chris Christie, high on the hog.
It's strange that you say that, because our next article will be dealing with Chris Christie. Because
bless his heart.
Because I do not think we gave his operation that much attention. So even though this is an older article, I think it is apropos.
It's very apropos. Was apropos a cousin of Edgar Allan Poe?
Yes, he was.
The Levity Bells are now Maximus.
He lived on Raven Street. Okay.
These are old-fashioned jingle bells, my friends. I got a whole bunch of them here now. I don't have any more. I put them all on here.
Governor Christie doesn't mind a joke about his considerable girth,
Well, David Letterman does a great job almost every night.
and in fact has made plenty at his own expense. Most recently chomping on a donut on the Late Show with David Letterman. The appearance and follow-up press
Should have a
conferences
bucket of KFC on his lap.
are generating buzz about Christie's fitness and ability to run for national office.
His ability to govern? Like he likes to say, I am here to govern.
And even resulted in a gubernatorial smackdown of a former White House doctor who said she worries about Christie dying in office.
Well, look how big he is. He's obese. Maybe even morbidly obese.
I'm basically the healthiest fat guy you've ever seen in your life,
Yeah, but a lot of fat people say that.
Christie said to Letterman.
Yeah, and a lot of fat people want to be considered a part of an alternative lifestyle, not demonize their overweight condition, but they want to feel that they were born to be fat.
Pulling out a donut as a gag, as the comedian was apologizing for poking fun at the governor's weight.
Yeah, he does that. When he'll make David Letterman will tear you a new asshole with jokes, but as soon as you're a guest on the show, he apologizes
And he
to you.
kisses ass. Yeah.
And he kisses ass, and he endorsed Christie, and he's supposed to be a liberal, David Letterman. Corporate kiss ass, you little pansy.
At a news conference with reporters after the Letterman appearance, a journalist hailed the governor's performance, but turned serious and asked if he had a plan to lose weight.
A plan? He has a plan to continue his seafood diet. He sees food and he eats it.
There's always a plan, Christie said. For folks who struggle with their weight, they will tell you every week, every month, every year, there's a plan.
There's a plan never to miss a meal.
Any contention that he doesn't care about his weight is bunk. Of course I care about this. I'm making the best effort I can. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not.
You notice many Republicans are overweight? The men.
Well, they live the good life, maybe.
Well, they believe gluttony is similar to, greed, stinginess.
One of the seven sins.
It goes with the territory, it goes with it, Oh, you gorge yourself, meanwhile millions of children are dying of starvation around the world.
I believe the figure is somewhere around 49.57% of Americans are on food stamps. That's half of the American population. 160, maybe 150, let's call it, million people.
And I wonder what the real unemployment percentage is in reality.
That too.
Not the one the government gives you.
Of course.
Well, of course, when you listen to the mainstream media, they're now saying that the economy is rejuvenating, is coming back, is slowly growing.
But again, I must say, as I've said from the beginning, the jobs that are gone will never come back.
In other words, all those jobs that have been outsourced to third world countries, mainland China, India, Bangladesh, the Philippine office, Vietnam, the Philippine office jobs, your prediction is they will never return
Never come back.
to the United States.
And of course manufacturing, because we don't have no stinking manufacturing here, basically.
All the inbound call centers are in the Philippines now. Customer service, they're there. Even I was told by a United Parcel Service UPS executive that they were in the process back then of outsourcing all the customer service jobs for UPS to the Philippines.
Yeah,
and everybody else is there too.
They've probably been successful.
Yeah, they pay them chicken feed. Yep.
The chatter seemed to end there until CNN interviewed former White House physician Connie Mariano,
Connie Lingus?
a Republican and self-professed Christie fan,
She's probably a very greedy, stingy woman.
who expressed grave concern about his health.
Well, Republicans, they adore him.
She said she fears he may have a heart attack or stroke, or even die in office.
Well, he's a very entertaining man. He doesn't care about the little guy, but he's entertaining. I don't want to see anything happen to Chris Christie. You know, I mean, he's entertaining. You know, his personality. You know, I'm not going to vote for him, but
It gave rise to questions about his fitness to seek a second term in New Jersey or the presidency. Christie fired back bluntly, blasting the doctor as another hack who wants 5 minutes on television. I find it fascinating that a doctor in Arizona who's never met me, never examined me, never reviewed my medical history or family history could make a diagnosis from 2,400 miles away.
don't have to. All you have to do is see a photograph of Chris Christie and a profile of him too. Front ways and back, from behind, and sideways. You don't need to examine Chris Christie.
She should probably be the Surgeon General of the United States because she must be a genius, Christie said.
Oh yeah, like the Surgeon General knows what's best all the time.
Well, they certainly got rid of that woman Surgeon General who sort of advocated masturbation.
Oh,
They got rid of her.
They got rid of her?
Oh, sure.
Masturbation to release tension?
Yes, of course.
So if that's...
Can't have that, can we?
So if...
Must go out and make babies.
So if she remained in her position, that means maybe insurance companies will pay for sex toys,
Ooh.
dildos, and artificial silicone vaginas.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, they're pretty expensive, so you know would be nice to have insurance pay for.
Especially those dildos with LED lights inside. They light up and then they spiral on the end. They have a probe.
Yeah, but you can get
goes around like this.
You can get a replica of a porn star's genitalia and back door and breasts and everything.
Yeah, silicone.
That you can utilize, and maybe like around $249.
Wait a minute. Realistic for 240?
Oh yeah, very realistic.
Are you sure? Because
yeah.
the Japanese company makes the real deal mannequins.
A full mannequin?
They were on Howard Stern. No, they got full and partial.
Yeah, well, I'm
But
just talking about the
they were on the
partial.
Howard Stern show one time, and they're quite expensive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the full ones are quite expensive.
yeah,
Very expensive.
I imagine you probably could not ever resell them on eBay or Craigslist, because who the hell wants a used one? Hey, the greatest prop ever known.
It's completely irresponsible, Christie said. His 4 children, who range in age from 9 to 19, watched the interview. I had my children.
He has a 19-year-old kid?
My 12-year-old son
Is the kid obese?
come to me and say, Dad, are you going to die? I mean, come on, this is irresponsible stuff.
Hey, Dad, are you going to die? Oh, yeah, he talks like Christie?
And people who have a medical license should be conducting themselves more responsibly than that.
Oh, heaven forbid you should care about your governor's well-being and health. Oh, so you're irresponsible for calling an obese person unhealthy?
Christie said the doctor could come to New Jersey and ask more detailed questions and review his records. I'll have a conversation with her about that, he said. Until that time, she should shut up.
What about all the times Christie should have shut up?
I'm not sure he recognizes that.
No.
Christie reportedly called Mariano at her office at the Center for Executive Medicine in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, it bothered him that much?
Afterward, Mariano was not backing down.
Good for her.
It doesn't take a physician to look at him and observe he is overweight.
What did I just say before? Overweight is putting it mildly.
Mariano, who served as White House physician during the Clinton administration, said, "It is sad that he cannot take my advice about his weight and risk factors for people who are overweight, obese, for diabetes, heart disease, stroke, constructively, and instead he chose to attack me personally."
Tit for tat, yeah. Yeah. What does he want people to say? He has the body of Mr. Olympia? Or
You
something?
are svelte and lithe, or lithe, whatever you want to.
Svelte?
Svelte and lithe.
He's got like a triple chin, for God's sakes.
Well, I'm saying that's what he would like people to say, I guess.
Remember?
Christie has maintained that he has normal cholesterol and is not diabetic.
What about all his other numbers? His blood pressure, his triglycerides? I mean, I'm curious. Why doesn't he post his blood work up on the Chris Christie website? He should post it. If he's so proud of his...
And if that's not convincing enough, he said the doctor could turn to the footage of him trotting around the state from the shore to Hoboken during 18-hour days, barking orders, hugging residents, and guiding New Jersey through Superstorm Sandy.
Riding the state
Helicopter.
Boy, that's a real workout, man. Sitting in that helicopter. State helicopter. Yeah, the helicopter takes off very difficultly, lands with him. Takes a while to get down, you know. Can't hover and come down too quickly with him, otherwise you'd end up in China. And he does his thing, kisses babies, hugs crying women, then he gets back in the helicopter again. Yeah. Oh, did you see the news about this year will be a very bad storm year for the Northeast?
I hope not.
Well, the article is out, and remember what I was saying about these people that were so anxious to restore the Jersey Shore and spend millions and millions of dollars, and Dr. Gary Null said on the air, Storm Sandy is only the beginning. And what did they do? They just had to rebuild the Jersey Shore so they could sell you $5 or $6 hot dogs, and yeah, they could rip you off on the Jersey Shore. Maybe it was God's way of wiping out the crooks. Storm Sandy, charging you for everything on the Jersey Shore, the cover charge to get on the beach, expensive too. A cover charge to change into your bathing suit, pay to park,
Privatization.
Very expensive food. You can't bring food on the beach because they want you to buy their rip-off food. It's a big scam. It's a racket. It's a racket. It's a
direction of the money towards those who already have.
It's a racket.
Okay?
New Jersey's got to be, you know, when it comes to, I mean, when you go to other states,
they knocked down the roller coaster the other day. That was out in the water.
Yeah, but that was a landmark. That was like...
I know, but they knocked it down now. It's crumbled up.
That's a reminder of Sandy. I mean, when you go to other states, you do not have to pay to go on a beautiful, pristine beach. You know, you do not pay to go on the beach in other states. You know what I mean? Better beaches, cleaner beaches.
Best part of it is we own the beaches.
It's part of America. It belongs to Americans,
To be free.
not privately
The
owned.
community. The commons.
Just think about it. Coastal United States being privately owned, privatizing everything. Even the lakes here in New Jersey, like what is it, Lake
Hopatcon.
Hopatcong, Greenwood Lake, they're all, there's no more like public grounds where you can go and launch
Barbecue and swim
and put your boat onto the lake. It's all privately owned. Everything, they want to privatize everything.
Everything.
Okay, you finished with that particular?
Yes, I
Christie
did.
article?
We're going to do this now, which I promised, I believe, last week. We didn't get to it.
That was the one where...
About the bats.
Yes. Yes, let us... Yeah, because I want to mention those lovely videos that I put on Holistic Health Talk about how to make your own cheap homemade mosquito trap and fly trap. Very clever. I don't have to show you. I could tell you how to make it. It's so simple. Oh, but go ahead, read this bad article.
In addition to the state's principal bat hibernation sites, Hibernia, Mount Hope Mine, the Mount Hope Mine, Valent also visited, this is the person, Valent also visited a dozen smaller sites that previously had groups of 100 or so hibernating bats.
Well, a bat house is a simple wooden box with the bottom removed. Without the bottom, because bats have to drop